Difficult People Chronicles, Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. Today is a Q&A. It's called Enemies Not Suffering. This Q&A, this question was actually long, but I had to break it down. So the question says, why do a person's enemy not suffer? And my reason is I feel that the victim hasn't healed, won't let go and let God. So sometimes the enemy is still around torturing. I would say this. When you letting go, letting God is a process. And a lot of times we hear it, we act like we know what it means, but we still be holding on to whatever. So I'm gonna give you my example. I know a person who I see all the time. I can't stand the person. I tolerate the person. And I know one time in my life, it was to a point where I was struggling to say certain words. And then one day it just came out and I was like, I hate that person. Because at the time, it was something in my heart. I didn't wish the person bad. I don't wish bad on anybody. But it was just like that person's way bothered me. I just don't like to see certain people treat certain people a certain kind of way. So when I see someone who talks good in front of people, like, say for instance, you have two people that are the best of friends, and that person talks highly of the other person, and the other person thinks that that's their best friend and all this other stuff. And then when one of the parties disappears, like that person is talking about them like a dog, or their best friend has a win and that other person is you know just bringing all sorts of negative energy. And then you see that that same person don't wish well of nobody, but then gets mad because nobody celebrates his win. It was just like, who are you? Like, you want people to celebrate your win, but then everything about you is so wrong. And I started to look at that person like, yo, that person is really evil. Like, even the nicest person, you could see someone going through a struggle, like, one struggle after the next. It could be the job, the family, the house, the mortgage, the this, the that. And he will sit back and laugh at them. And it made me look at that person differently, because a lot of people saw that person as a good-hearted person, and I'm just like, yo, that's the devil. Like, he is straight the devil. I learned to tolerate only because we have to be around each other for a certain circumstances, only a certain period of time. But outside of that, oh no. You know, I know that one day I came home and I called my mom's on the phone and I was talking to her and I was just like, how do you deal with that? And she said, you got to let go and let God. And I was just like, I know, but I don't know what it is. And that night I had to pray. I had to pray because I felt it in my heart that I could stand the person. Like, it was like if the person needed blood and I was the perfect match. I was just like, no, anybody else? It was just that bad. And then that person would do some things to people and then just be like, pray for me. And it was just like, are you kidding me? Pray for yourself. You don't see the wrongs that you do? And the only time the person would stop laughing and talking about people is if I shut that down. Like, I would say something like, you should go tell that person to their face. That's the way I strongly feel. If you feel that way, go talk to them to their face. Put your big panties on and go talk to that person and tell them how you feel. And they will walk away disgusted with me because I spoke my truth. I'm not engaging in that nonsense. Somebody got to be the bigger person, and I'm a little too grown to be a kid. So, I had to just basically heal, say God bless, and put it in the hands of God. Because a lot of times we fail to realize that when we are bitter, the one thing that happens is that the devil says, now I know what pushes your buttons. It's kind of like an addiction. If the devil knows that say drugs is your addiction. It's the strangest thing when all of a sudden you meet people that's doing the one thing you're trying to get away from, and it's right in front of you. And then before long, you backslide. The devil will keep agitating you, and he knows your trigger points. So you have to control whatever it is that's bad for you. And if being bitter, is a bad thing, because it is, let's be honest, you have to figure out a way to heal. You got to say God bless, and you got to let go and let God. And that's the only way that, you'll be at peace. Because what happens is that when you are still bitter over a situation, you're not going to receive your blessings. It prevents you from receiving your blessings. Yeah, so that's what you have to do. And then the other thing, which is something that I do, is when you see, and this is just a little bit off the subject, but when you see certain people going through certain things, and these are like the people that because a lot of people do it, it bothers me sometimes. They know that these people, like certain people, say a guy named Tommy, they know Tommy is trifling. Tommy he be robbing people, stealing, doing all sorts of ungodly things or craziness. And then when he get caught up in trouble, you have that one group of people that Tommy will turn around to and say, pray for me, because I'm going to court and this is happening, and I need you to pray that the judge and X, Y, and Z, you need to pray that God takes care of him. You see what I'm saying? That's it. And then let go and let God. Because a lot of times we prevent people from learning their lessons through control. And that person keeps creating misery in other people's lives. Yep. I know a person that was sitting there creating havoc in a lot of people's lives. I mean, he would do the most craziest nonsense. And then if he didn't get caught, he started laughing. And it was just like, you just robbed somebody, you idiot, But then there was this one day when he got caught. And then he turned around and he was like calling all his friends and saying, can you pray for me? So one of the things my grandmother always said, she says, ask them why they want you to pray for them. So I asked him, I said, why do you want me to pray for you? He said, just pray that this and this and this and this and this happen. I said, but I thought you said you didn't do it. Because if you let people talk enough, they'll talk themselves right in the hole. And I realized he was lying. I said, I'm going to pray that you get right. And that's what I prayed about. That was it. And I just said, I just let go and let God. And now he's going through some things, and he's just like, it's just like one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. And I said, that's karma. Just like the dude that I used to hate. He's going through his karma. He went through his karma. He had his story to tell. And I sat back and I was just like, what? And it was my other friend that he was like, that's your karma. That's what you get for all the things you did to all these people, all those other people or whatever. That's what you get. And now you crying over spilled milk. You expect people to feel sorry for you when you did a whole lot of people dirty. I mean, he even did his mother dirty. He robbed his mother. I said, that's insane. And then when she told the story, he talking about she going see now. She wasn't going see now. A lot of senior citizens do remember their money, They may forget other things, but they do not forget their money. Yeah, he robbed his own mother. And then always trying to put on the story that he's the nicest person in the world. So I quickly picked position. I told my friend, I said, that's your friend. So you know what that means. He was like, yeah, I know. Don't bring him to my house. Yep. Don't you dare. So that's about it. Yeah. Forgive, heal, let go, and let God. Because the more you hold on to it, you're going to see your enemy thriving and doing the same old nonsense, finding a different victim, and all sorts of craziness. And on your end, If you don't heal, you're going to attract the same type of person in your life, just a different face, maybe a different location, different cologne, but the same person, similar. So you got to let go, let God heal, release all that bitterness, and receive all your blessings. So that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. And for one-on-one sessions, hit me up on my email, seriouslyfocusedjohnnie.com, JOHNNIE. Check out my store. The link is under the summary. Check me out on Facebook. The digital download I'll be getting to you soon. Definitely. Yeah, because they're doing some work in my house. So have a blessed week. Love me more, and I'll love you more later.